The night before the wedding, the bride Li Weiwei was going out to have a pre-wedding party with her male best friend, Zhang Zihao. I warned, if you walk out that door tonight, tomorrow's wedding is off. Li Weiwei said, if you love me, please respect my personal freedom instead of threatening me. My mother-in-law said, only incompetent men are constantly afraid of their wives being stolen away. You're the boss of a company. You should be more magnanimous. The next day at 10:30, my phone was ringing off the hook. Have you ever seen a woman go out to a pre-wedding party with her male best friend the day before her wedding? I used to think such melodramatic plots only happened in TV dramas or fantasy novels, but it was actually happening to me. I stared at Li Weiwei, doing my best to control the anger in my heart. For tomorrow's wedding, I had spent a month preparing, meticulously attending to every single detail, all just to do my utmost to give her a romantic, perfect memory of happiness. But the scene just now made me feel like an idiot. The living room was quiet. Outside the window, the evening sunlight, a warm orange, fell on her face, but it couldn't hide the impatience in her eyes. Her face darkened. Lin Dong, what do you mean? Exactly what it means. We're getting married tomorrow, and you're still going out with another man tonight for a pre-wedding party. Do you think that's normal? Li Weiwei's face showed an expression that said, you're being completely unreasonable. I'll say it again, Zihao isn't another man. He's just my sworn younger brother. We grew up together. He specially spent money to organize a gathering with a few friends to drink and sing, all to celebrate my farewell to singlehood. How come when it comes out of your mouth, it sounds so scandalous? I suddenly felt a bit mentally exhausted. Zhang Zihao, this so-called male best friend, often called Li Weiwei out at night to drink and sing. Several times in the middle of the night, Li Weiwei, completely drunk, was escorted home by him. Li Weiwei and I had argued countless times. Each time she'd say that she and Zhang Zihao had a sibling-like relationship since childhood and told me not to interfere with her freedom to socialize. But what the hell is tonight? It's the night before the wedding. The bride should be staying at her parents' home, getting good rest and conserving her energy, waiting for the groom to come fetch her the next morning for the wedding ceremony at the hotel. Drinking is fine, but why does it have to be tonight? Does Zhang Zihao not know we're getting married tomorrow? If you reek of alcohol, how will you face the guests tomorrow? Li Weiwei's expression grew even more impatient. Are you interrogating a criminal? Lin Dong, why do you always make things sound so serious? It's just going out for a few drinks. At worst, I'll just come home early, can't I? I asked, do you absolutely have to go to this drinking party tonight? Yes. Li Weiwei slapped the eyebrow razor she was holding onto the dressing table, saying defiantly, I already promised Zihao. He's booked a private room and invited everyone. Besides, I'm the main character tonight. How can I not go? My heart sank little by little. That familiar, futile sense of exhaustion from trying to reason with her surged up again. I'd known her for 3 years, and we've been dating for 2. Considering how hard her dad worked as a mover for a moving company, I paid to help him open a convenience store nearby, and I still pay the monthly rent. Her younger brother couldn't find a job after graduating from vocational college. Unable to resist Li Weiwei's persistence, I arranged for him to work as a sales assistant at my company. And for Li Weiwei, I rented a street-facing storefront in the same complex as our wedding home. It's currently being renovated. I plan for her to quit her job and open a community beauty salon after we get married. Even our wedding home, though I bought it in full before marriage, I promised to add her name to the title after we wed. I always thought she was just a bit carefree and loved to have fun, but that she had her boundaries. But now, for the first time, I wondered if I had misjudged her from the very beginning. How about this? I'll call your mom right now. If she thinks it's perfectly fine for you to go out and drink with other men tonight, then I have nothing more to say. As I spoke, I picked up my phone. Before Li Weiwei could stop me, I found my mother-in-law Wang Guixiang's number and dialed it. The call connected quickly, and I put it on speakerphone. The background was noisy, filled with the clatter of mahjong tiles. When I finished explaining everything, there was a few seconds of silence on the other end, followed by Wang Guixiang's dismissive laughter. Shaolin, it's not your mom talking. But why are you still getting jealous over Zaheo? He and Wei Wei have been playing together since they were kids, like real siblings. You shouldn't overthink it. Mom guarantees you, there's absolutely nothing going on between him and Wei Wei. I grew anxious. Mom, this isn't about guaranteeing anything, it's about... Before I could finish, Wang Guixiang impatiently interrupted. All right, it's nothing. They're just going out to have fun. You shouldn't dwell on it. Only incompetent men are afraid their wives will be taken away all the time. You're the boss of a company. You should be more magnanimous. I'll have to go now. I'm busy playing mahjong, 2 bamboos. She hung up the phone. Li Weiwei, with a triumphant look, watched me provocatively. How was that? Do you need to call my dad too? I shook my head. At that moment, I suddenly felt like saying nothing at all. That bit of unwillingness in my heart, that sliver of a thought to communicate. Bit by bit, it extinguished. It was 6 in the evening, and dusk was just settling in. Li Weiwei's phone rang. Zhang Ziheo's car was already parked at the community gate. He repeatedly urged Li Weiwei to come downstairs quickly. Li Weiwei had already changed. She wore a black, tight miniskirt, paired with high heels, and had delicate makeup on. She looked like she was going on a romantic date. I sat on the living room sofa and said gravely, Li Weiwei, think carefully. If you walk out this door tonight to attend that disgusting bachelorette party, then there will be no need for tomorrow's wedding. Li Weiwei walked to the door. Her body stiffened. Then she turned around and sneered. Lin Dong, why didn't I ever notice before how overbearing and controlling you are? I don't have time to argue with you right now. If you love me, please respect my personal freedom instead of threatening me. Don't you know that makes you seem incredibly childish? Perhaps afraid of angering me. She softened her tone a bit. I promise you, I'll just go have a few drinks and come home early. Bang! The door slammed shut. The air in the room was eerily silent. I thought for a moment, then took out my phone and called my dad. Dad, I want to cancel tomorrow's wedding. I calmly recounted what had happened from beginning to end. My dad paused for a few seconds on the other end. After a soft sigh, my dad asked, Have you thought it through? I have. All right then. My dad's tone became firm. As long as you've thought it through, your mom and I both support you. Don't worry about family and friends. We'll explain it to them. After hanging up, my heart felt at peace. Next, I called the manager of the hotel where the wedding was scheduled for tomorrow. I informed them that the wedding banquet was canceled and that they could keep the 20,000 yuan deposit paid earlier. Though surprised, the manager had no choice but to accept. Then came the wedding decorations, wedding car rental, makeup artist, photographer, videographer, MC. In less than an hour, I canceled all the services booked for the wedding. The lost deposits totaled just under 100,000 yuan. But compared to getting entangled in a marriage destined for tragedy, what did this money matter? I went to my room to get my laptop. I went through all the money I had spent on Li Weiwei and her family for this wedding. Among these, the bride price of 388,000 yuan was the largest sum. For gold jewelry, I bought 5 items. A gold necklace, a gold ring, gold earrings, a gold bracelet, and a gold pendant. This cost just under 120,000 yuan. Excluding minor expenses, these 2 major items alone amounted to 508,000 yuan. It suddenly occurred to me that Li Weiwei and I had registered our marriage at the Civil Affairs Bureau the day before yesterday. Even if the wedding was canceled tomorrow, the marriage relationship was already legally established. Would all this money just go down the drain, impossible to get back? I remember my high school classmate, Tang Lin. I had seen on WeChat moments previously that she seemed to be working as a lawyer at a good law firm. I found her WeChat contact, and considering it was a bit late, I sent her a text message. Hey, old classmate, this is Lin Dong. Are you available for a call right now? Soon, Tang Lin sent a voice call request. Once connected, a familiar, clear voice came from the earpiece. Old classmate, what can I do for you? After a few brief pleasantries, I got straight to the point, briefly explaining what had happened with Li Weiwei. Tang Lin quickly adopted her professional demeanor. After carefully analyzing the situation from a lawyer's professional perspective, she asked, How long has it been since you two registered your marriage? We just registered this Monday. Have you been living together? Yes, we have. Tang Lin pondered for a moment, then said, in your situation, it's still possible to recover part of the bride price. How much is part usually? Although I'm not short on money, since I want to get back at them, I want the other party to feel enough pain. Around 30% to 70%. If your cohabitation period is short, the bride price amount is significant, and the woman is found to be partially at fault, the court might rule for a higher proportion to be returned. For example, 70% is also possible. What about the gold jewelry? I spent 120,000 yuan on it. Can that be returned too? Tang Lin let out a chuckle, then sobered up and said, gold jewelry is also an extended form of the betrothal gift. If it was bought with the purpose of marriage, the return ratio should be based on the betrothal gift. I sent Tang Lin an 88 yuan WeChat red packet to express my gratitude and propose the idea of hiring her as my lawyer. Tang Lin didn't hesitate, happily accepted the red packet, and replied with a thanks boss emoji. They arranged to meet in a few days to discuss the specifics thoroughly. After hanging up the phone, I habitually scrolled through my WeChat moments. A grid of 9 photos caught my eye. The poster was Zhang Zihao. The photos showed candid shots of him and Li Weiwei, along with several men I didn't recognize, drinking and singing together. Most striking was the photo in the very center. Zhang Zihao and Li Weiwei were smiling, linking arms, and drinking crossed-arm wine. This set of photos was also accompanied by text. Deep sibling bond, for life. Red heart, red heart, red heart. Below, 3 people had liked it. One was Li Hao, Li Weiwei's younger brother. One was Wang Guixiang, Li Weiwei's mother. And another was Li Weiwei herself. I saved the photos one by one onto my phone, and took a screenshot of the entire Moments post as well. After doing all this, I went to the wine cabinet and opened a bottle of red wine. I sat alone on the sofa and started drinking. The next morning at 10:30, my phone rang frantically over and over again. After getting up and washing and dressing myself neatly, I finally answered. From the other end of the line came Wang Guixiang's anxious, accusatory voice. Lin Dong, what time is it now? Why aren't you here to pick up the bride yet? While slicing bread and putting into the toaster, I fried a sunny-side-up egg and warmed a cup of milk. Hello. Why aren't you speaking? Is the signal bad? What's that sizzling sound over there? Wang Guixiang's voice rose by an octave. Auntie, the wedding is canceled. What? Wang Guixiang froze, asking again in disbelief. What did you say is canceled? The wedding is canceled, I said, enunciating each word. What kind of joke are you playing? Weiwei had her bridal makeup done early this morning and has been waiting for you for ages. What kind of tantrum are you throwing now? I took a bite of my sandwich and washed it down with some milk. You can ask Li Weiwei yourself. I told her last night, if she went out to that bachelorette party, the wedding would be canceled. With that, I hung up the phone. Less than 3 minutes later, Li Weiwei called. Lin Dong, what do you mean by this? The literal meaning. Li Weiwei's voice still carried an indignant anger. Are you never going to let this go? I told you last night, I just went out for a few drinks and was home by 11:30. Why are you so narrow-minded? I doubt you ever loved me. Do you know what day it is today? And you're still throwing a tantrum. You come over right now, she commanded. Get here within 15 minutes, or this wedding really isn't happening. My brother-in-law, Li Hao, shouted from the other end. Oh, by the way, brother-in-law, the red envelope for the bride getting out of the car has been changed to 52,520. Remember, if there's not enough money, the bride won't get out of the car, huh? I finished the entire sandwich, wiped my hands, and picked up the phone on the table. I'm not joking. I'll say it again. The wedding is canceled. The wedding venue setup, banquet, wedding cars, and MC. I canceled all of them last night. Li Weiwei, you're free. From now on, you can have as many male best friends as you want, throw parties every night, and no one will care. Oh, and remember to return the 388,000 bride price and the gold jewelry. Not a single piece can be missing. Li Weiwei's voice trembled. What did you say? Just because I went out for a drink last night, such a small matter, and you really canceled the wedding? Yes. It's all because of Zaheo in the end. You're still jealous of him. Li Weiwei's voice grew high-pitched. What do you want me to say to explain? He's just my platonic male friend. Why can't you understand? If you can't explain it, then don't, I said. I cannot marry a woman who drinks crossed-arm toast with male friends and throws a bachelorette party the night before her wedding. To you, this is a small matter. To me, it's a bottom line. That's all. I will entrust a lawyer to handle the subsequent matters. Don't hang up yet. Li Weiwei cried urgently, her voice laced with a sob. Lin Dong, this time it was my fault. I promise you, I won't go out drinking with Zhang Ziheo anymore. No, I won't go even if others invite me. I'll quit drinking. Please forgive me this once. I promise it won't happen again. Li Weiwei. My voice was cold. It's too late. You don't realize you were wrong. You're just scared because you see I'm serious. This marriage, it's over. After speaking, I hung up the phone. Before the phone screen even dimmed, another call came in. First Li Weiwei, then her mother, and then my brother-in-law Li Hao. A relentless barrage of calls. I didn't answer a single one. I put my phone on silent and tossed it onto the sofa. The world fell silent. Since the wedding was canceled, there was no need to take wedding leave. I quickly tidied up and simply headed to the company for work. Love was gone, but my career was something I couldn't afford to lose. My company primarily focused on game development and operation. Although the team wasn't large, everyone was a skilled professional. In recent years, thanks to the massive success of several mini-program games, we had raked in a fair bit of money. I was the founder and the technical core of the entire company. 20 minutes later, I was sitting in my spacious and bright office. On the desk in front of me was a stack of documents. During this period, due to wedding preparations, a lot of company matters had piled up. These thick data reports and project proposals could quickly make me forget my current worries. Sure enough, as my attention shifted to work, my mood quickly calmed down. Around noon, I was eating my lunchbox in the office when I suddenly received a call from my mother. Xiaodong, come back quickly. Li Weiwei and her family have come to make a scene at our door. Your dad is being surrounded by them. I tossed my chopsticks, grabbed my car keys, and ran out. Mom, did you call the police? They're just arguing. No one's come to blows. You better come back first. Okay, I'll be there in 10 minutes. I ran 2 red lights on the way. Only one thought was in my mind, to quickly resolve all these vexing matters. As soon as my car stopped downstairs at my parents' place, I heard a clamor coming from upstairs. I rushed up the stairs, taking 2 steps at a time. The door was open. In the living room were Li Weiwei and her family of 3, along with her male best friend, Zhang Ziheo. The 4 of them were surrounding my father, all highly agitated, adopting an aggressive posture. My father's expression, however, was calm, but his eyes held an unchallengeable dignity. My dear in-law, how do you propose we resolve this matter? Li Daqiang, Li Weiwei's father, had the loudest voice. My daughter is a perfectly good girl, and your son just calls off the engagement just like that? How can she ever face anyone again if this gets out? This morning, many relatives and friends arrived at the hotel only to find out the wedding was canceled. They've been calling nonstop, asking questions. It's utterly humiliating. Exactly, Li Weiwei's mother, Wang Guixiang, chimed in. If you don't give us an explanation today, we're not letting the Lin family off the hook. Li Weiwei stood to the side, her eyes red, as if she had been crying. But she didn't stop her parents. Instead, she occasionally glanced at my father, as if gauging his reaction. Zhang Ziheo stood at the front, looking as if he was speaking out for justice. Uncle Lin, Weiwei Jie, and I grew up together. We are close, but it's a perfectly innocent sibling-like relationship. Lin Dong used this as an excuse to break off the engagement, which not only insults Weiwei Jie's character, but also tarnishes our pure friendship. It's utterly irresponsible. I strode forward a few steps and immediately shielded my father behind me. Everyone shut up. The living room fell silent for a moment. Seeing me arrive, Zhang Ziheo's lips curled into a provocative smirk, and he said indignantly, Lin Dong, you're finally here. Today, in front of Uncle and Annie, you need to make things clear. Why did you call off the engagement without reason? Are you treating marriage like a game, or are you just toying with Wei Wei Jie's feelings? Whichever it is, as Wei Wei Jie's brother, I won't stand for it. You must provide an explanation. I looked at him coldly. Suddenly, I slapped him across the face. Zhang Zihao stumbled, nearly falling onto the sofa. Who do you think you are to question me? Everyone was stunned. Li Weiwei stepped forward and supported Zhang Zihao, shouting at me. Lin Dong, Zihao was asking you a question. Why did you hit him? I moved closer to Zhang Zihao and asked, You answer me first. What were your intentions inviting a woman who's getting married the next day to a nightclub for drinks and a singles party? Zhang Zihao's eyes darted away. Before he could speak, I threw out a second question. And what was your purpose drinking intertwined arm wine with a woman getting married tomorrow, then deliberately taking photos and posting them on Moments? That was just for fun. Zhang Zihao stammered. Wei Wei Jie and I. Are you trying to say you and Li Weiwei are siblings? I cut him off. Why, yes. Yes. Li Weiwei chimed in. That's right. Zihao is my sworn younger brother. Since you're siblings, then what the hell does drinking intertwined arm wine mean? Who came up with such a perverted act? I slapped Zhang Zihao hard across the face again. Answer me. I roared. Previously, because of Li Weiwei, although I disliked Zhang Zihao, I still maintained a semblance of politeness. We had even added each other on WeChat. So he knew I could see his moments, and he deliberately posted those photos to disgust me. Well, then I had no reason to show him respect. I picked up my phone, found the number for Chen Mingliang, Zhang Zihao's company boss, and dialed it, specifically putting on speakerphone. Dongzi, I was just about to call you. Just tell me one thing, brother. The wedding was canceled today. Was that bastard Zhang Zihao behind it? I replied, it was him. He's in front of me now. Do you have anything to say to him? Chen Mingliang exploded. F***CK. Put him on the phone. I handed the phone to Zhang Zihao. He was stunned, and after a long moment, stammered out 3 words, Mr. Chun. Mr. My ass. Zhang Zihao. You don't need to come to work tomorrow. I'll make this clear for you. Lin Dong, Mr. Lin, is also a shareholder in our company. If it weren't for him not wanting to bother with you before, I would have fired your ass long ago. And you're still a damn manager, you ungrateful son of a bitch. Chen Mingliang was about to continue his tirade, but I said, that's enough, Liangzi. Let's leave it at this for now. We can talk over drinks another day. After I hung up the phone, Zhang Zihao stared at me, his face a mask of shock. I asked, why aren't you leaving yet? Waiting for dinner? He didn't dare to say another word, lowered his head, covering his face, and quickly left. Seeing that Zhang Zihao had been slapped and lost his job, Li Weiwei pointed at me indignantly. Lin Dong, you're retaliating. At the end of the day, it's just childishness. How did I never realize before that you're such a petty man? You ruined Zihao's job. You're responsible for finding him another one. He was a manager before, so the new job must be an equivalent position. I suddenly felt I must have been truly blind in the past. Otherwise, how could I have dated a woman with such warped values as Li Weiwei for 3 years, and even almost married her? No, we were already officially married. Thinking of this, I felt incredibly frustrated. Li Weiwei, do you still think I'm joking? Or do you believe that if your family comes here to make a scene, I'll change my mind? Since you're all here, I'll say it again to your face. This divorce, I'm determined to go through with it. Li Weiwei was stunned, tears gushing out uncontrollably. Li's mother, Wang Guixiang, shouted at the top of her lungs, Lin Dong, what do you mean by that? One should have a conscience. Today, because of a small matter, you canceled the wedding and want a divorce. How will our Weiwei face people in the future? You're trying to drive our Weiwei to her death. How can your heart be so cruel? Wang Guixiang's tears came instantly. She immediately plopped down on the ground, slapping her thighs and wailing loudly. Li Daqiang stood with his hands on his hips, glaring at me with hatred, his eyes looking as if they could kill. Today, your Lin family must give us an explanation, otherwise we'll just drag this out, and we'll see how you'll face your neighbors in the future. It seemed they were getting down to business. I persuaded my father and mother to rest in the inner room. My mother was still a little worried, but my father told her to listen to me. After coming out, I went to the fridge, grabbed a bottle of water, and chugged a few mouthfuls. Then I returned to the living room and sat on the sofa. All right, what kind of explanation do you want? Li Daqiang said, pick a date and hold the wedding again. This time, the standard must be higher. The spectacle must be grander. The hotel will be the Grand Hyatt on Huandao Road, 6-star standard, so the guests will feel honored. The bride price will be increased to $668,000 as compensation to the bride's family for your unauthorized cancellation of the wedding. The wedding convoy will be changed from 6 cars to 10 cars. No BMWs or Mercedes. We want Rolls-Royces, Bentleys. I cut him off directly, saying impossible. Divorce. That's the only option. Li Weiwei cried. Lindong, are you really so heartless? Won't you give me another chance? I promise you, I won't go out drinking with Zhang Zihao again. I said indifferently, you're fine. No need to change. It's my problem. I overthink things. I'm inadequate, which is why I was always afraid my wife would be lured away. You deserve better. Let's part ways amicably. Hearing me mention divorce, Li Daqiang abruptly pulled Li Weiwei aside, preventing her from speaking. Wang Guixiang, as if an unspoken agreement, straightened her back and stopped wailing. The two exchanged glances, and Li Daqiang began to speak. Divorce isn't out of the question, but you'll have to compensate our family for our losses. Seeing I didn't respond, he didn't seem to mind and continued. Besides the $388,000 bride price, which won't be refunded, and the gold jewelry, which also won't be returned, the customary red packet for the bride when she gets out of the car, originally $13,140, will be changed to $52,000. This must also be given. In addition, an extra $500,000 for emotional distress compensation. Li Daqiang paused for 2 seconds and swallowed. I thought he was finished, but in fact, I had underestimated their appetite. And that 150 square meter wedding house, half its market value, should be converted into cash and given to our Weiwei. Reasonably speaking, a divorce means splitting assets in half. Half of the savings and company shares also belong to Weiwei. Just be quick about it. Give Weiwei $500,000 and half the house's value in cash, and we'll consider the rest a minor loss. I just laughed in anger. Originally, my idea was to get back the bride price. Since the gold jewelry had already been bought, it wouldn't be unacceptable to leave it for Li Weiwei. I would have considered it compensation for some of their expenses during the wedding preparations. In reality, they hadn't spent much. I had basically arranged for everything to be uniformly purchased. Now it seems I was too soft-hearted. The wedding house is my premarital property. I did plan to add Li Weiwei's name to the property deed after the marriage, but now that the wedding is canceled, the house has nothing to do with her. As for the bride price, the $388,000 must be returned. The gold jewelry must also be returned, and the 180,000 yuan that Li Weiwei took from me on several occasions, under the pretext that her family and brother urgently needed money, must also be returned. During their relationship, whenever Li Weiwei needed money, she was too embarrassed to ask in person, so she would message me on WeChat. She called them loans, but in reality, only the first 1 or 2 times were ever repaid. All these chat records are still on my phone. I continued, as for emotional damages, I believe you all know why I canceled the wedding. The reason for all this was that the bride, on the night before the wedding, went to a bachelorette party hosted by her male best friend, and the two of them even drank a cross-cup toast. Not only did they drink a cross-cup toast, but she also posted it on her Moments. Not only did she post it on Moments, but Aunt Li, Li Hao, and Li Weiwei, the 3 of you, even liked it. I took out my phone, found a screenshot of the Moments post in my album, and showed it to them. Li Weiwei stood by, her face pale, and Wang Guixiang also looked extremely embarrassed. Only Li's father was trembling with rage. He slapped Li Weiwei hard across the face and cursed, "You disgraceful thing." I acted as if I hadn't seen it, and continued to ask, "So, Who should I demand my emotional damages from? Seeing that no one spoke, I concluded. Regarding the divorce, I will entrust a lawyer to follow up and handle it. If you don't agree, then let the court decide. You'll get every cent that's rightfully yours, but what belongs to me, I must reclaim every bit of it. Li's mother, Wang Guixiang, cried out, "No, we'd lose too much that way. My daughter dated you for 3 years, and you took full advantage of her. Now that you've used her up, you want to irresponsibly walk away? Dream on." Li Daqiang also yelled in a coarse voice, "That's right, anything less than 5 million in total is out of the question. We'll just drag this out with you. We don't care about your lawyers or courts. If you don't give us the money, we'll stay right here and won't leave." I dialed Captain Xiao of the neighborhood security team. A few minutes later, Captain Xiao arrived with his men, carrying rubber batons and steel forks. Captain Xiao asked, "Are you going to leave on your own, or should I escort you out?" Wang Guixiang still wanted to continue wailing, but Li Daqiang and Li Weiwei pulled and dragged her away. As they left, Li Daqiang declared, "This isn't over." Li Weiwei's family left. I went back inside, comforted my parents, and then drove straight back to the company. Assistant Xiao Zhou came over with documents for me to sign. I asked him if Li Hao had come to the company to work today. Xiao Zhou shook his head. "No." He said you and his sister were getting married, requested a week off, didn't write an application, and just sent a WeChat voice message to the manager. I wasn't surprised at all. After Li Hao joined, he spent his work days slacking off, either playing games or scrolling through short videos. He told everyone he was the boss's brother-in-law, completely disregarded his department head, and his relationships with colleagues were a mess. Even without the broken engagement with Li Weiwei, I was still planning to persuade him to resign in a few days. When it comes to work, my tolerance is very limited. Notify HR to collect and organize evidence of Li Hao's work violations and disciplinary infractions, and proceed with his direct termination. I took a slip from my documents and tore it up. Also, regarding the convenience store I opened for Li Weiwei's father, Li Daqiang, which I previously asked you to handle, stop paying the rent starting next month. Coincidentally, this payment application form is voided today. Previously, Li Daqiang said he had no money, so I advanced the money to help him open the convenience store, and I also paid the rent up front for him. Now it's been almost a year since it opened, and with the express delivery station business, the monthly income averages over 10,000. But Li Daqiang never mentioned me advancing money again, as if it had never happened, and even the rent was implicitly expected to be paid by me. Today, it's time to set things right. Xiaozhou was efficient and quickly took care of everything I assigned. I called Tang Lin. I briefly told her what had happened today. Tang Lin wasn't surprised by the Li Weiwei family's reaction at all, but simply helped me analyze it from a lawyer's professional perspective. From the current situation, the possibility of you and Li Weiwei divorcing by agreement is low. It seems the only option is to sue for divorce. I was already mentally prepared, so I invited Tang Lin to dinner tonight to discuss the specifics. Tang Lin readily agreed. I booked a table at a cafe restaurant I frequent, which happened to be not far from her law firm. I had just shared the location with Tang Lin on WeChat when Li Hao's call came in. Brother-in-law, HR Xiao Chun just sent me a termination notice. What's going on? I corrected him. Call me Mr. Lin. I had HR send the termination notice, and the termination compensation will be in accordance with labor law. You'll get every penny you're due. From now on, you don't need to come to work. Li Hao asked, "Is it because of Li Weiwei?" Brother-in-law, "No, Mr. Lin. Mr. Lin, I've always been on your side. At noon, my parents and my sister went to your place to make a scene, but I didn't go." "No, Li Hao," I said, "you are outstanding. You're competent at your job, humble, abide by rules and regulations, and get along well with your colleagues. You deserve a better company. Staying here is a waste of your talent." Li Hao froze for a few seconds, then suddenly fumed. "Lin Dong, stop being so sarcastic. Don't think I can't tell. You slept with my sister and then broke off the engagement just like that. Now you even dare to fire me from my job? You wait. I'm not done with you. Are you done? Hang up when you're done." I hung up the phone. Not long after, Li Daqiang's call came through again. Lin Dong. Li Daqiang immediately questioned. The landlord came to me for the convenience store's rent. Did you forget to pay it? I asked. Whose convenience store is it? Mine. What's wrong? Then shouldn't you be the one to pay the rent? Li Daqiang paused. Haven't you always been paying it? Continue to cover it for now, and I'll pay you back everything when I make money later. My voice remained calm. From now on, you'll pay the rent yourself. Also, I advanced 150,000 yuan for the initial store setup, plus 35,000 yuan for previous rent payments, totaling 185,000 yuan. This money needs to be repaid. If you don't have the money, write an IOU with the repayment deadline specified. Li Daqiang got angry. Shaolin, do you really have to be so absolute? I couldn't help but laugh. These were all agreed upon before. I advanced money to help you set up the store, and you were supposed to pay me back once it started making money. Now the store has been open for almost a year, and it makes a good profit every month, but I never asked about repayment, and you never brought it up, so it just fizzled out. Li Daqiang was speechless, then suddenly said, Shaolin, how about you and Wei Wei don't break off the engagement? We can just carry on as before. No way. I hung up the phone immediately. Wang Guixiang called again. After I rejected the call, she sent me voice messages on WeChat, each 60 seconds long, a total of over 10 messages. I didn't listen to a single one. After a while, she switched to sending text messages, writing a long, full paragraph. The gist of it was an apology on Li Weiwei's behalf, and that she herself was also in the wrong. She said she was a bad parent, failing to notice Li Weiwei's unusual relationship with Zhang Zihao, and even less considering my feelings. She hoped I wouldn't break off the engagement. As long as I didn't, she would make Li Weiwei apologize to me, even kneel if necessary. I finished reading with a cold laugh. Fearing further harassment, I blacklisted all of Li Weiwei's family's phone numbers and WeChat accounts. 6 p.m., Yuan Coffee Bistro on Xiao Road. Warm yellow lights, the aroma of coffee beans wafting in the air. Tang Lin arrived as scheduled. She wore a simple light blue professional dress, her glossy black long hair tied up high, her eyes bright and sharp, exuding an aura of decisiveness and cool elegance. After graduating from high school, we hadn't met again. We only vaguely learned about each other's lives through moments. I had consulted her on some legal issues via WeChat, and each time she answered with great patience. Tang Lin was poised and generous, a far cry from the shy, timid girl she was in high school. After sitting down, she naturally took the menu I handed her and ordered a light meal and a latte. It was I, on the other hand, having always been a tech geek, who felt a bit awkward. Tell me, old classmate, begin your story. Tang Lin took a sip of coffee, looking at me with a half-smile. I recounted the whole matter from beginning to end. From Li Weiwei's insistence on attending the bachelorette party, to Zhang Zihao posting photos of them drinking crossed-arm wine-on moments. From the cancellation of the wedding, the Li family causing a scene, to the dismissal of Li Hao and the cessation of the convenience store rent. Everything. Tang Lin listened while writing something in her notebook. Her expression was serious, her gaze focused. What day did you get your marriage certificate? The 5th, last Monday, exactly 7 days ago. Did you live together after marriage? I thought for a moment. Does cohabitation before marriage count? No. No matter how long you cohabited, or whether you lived as husband and wife, it does not constitute a de facto marriage. I said, she's been staying at her parents' home since we got the certificate, saying she's waiting for me to formally marry her into my home. Tang Lin nodded, a glimmer of light appearing in her eyes. Then it's easy. According to relevant judicial interpretations of the Civil Code, if you file for divorce, the court will generally support the claim for the return of the bride price. Additionally, arranging a job for her brother and investing in a convenience store for her father. These are conditional gifts given with the purpose of marriage, and their return can also be claimed. After hearing Tang Lin's words, I felt reassured. So what should I do next? You can entrust our law firm to collect evidence and file a lawsuit as soon as possible. Tang Lin took a retainer agreement from her bag and pushed it in front of me. Take a look. If there are no issues, just sign it. I took the contract and quickly scanned it. The terms were clear, and the fees were reasonable. I immediately pulled out a pen from my bag and quickly signed my name. Then I'll have to trouble you, old classmate. Don't mention it, Tang Lin said with a smile as she put away the contract. I should be thanking you instead for giving our law firm business. Just as I was about to speak, a high-pitched voice suddenly rang out from behind me. Lin Dong. I turned my head. I saw Li Weiwei standing beside the booth, her eyes red, her whole body trembling. Her gaze was fixed on Tang Lin. Ah, I finally know why you insisted on breaking off the engagement. So you really already have someone else. She pointed at Tang Lin, her voice so loud that the entire restaurant fell silent. Homewrecker. You're that homewrecker. Guests at several surrounding tables turned their heads. A waiter, holding coffee, stood 2 meters away at a loss. I stood up, stepping in front of them, suppressing my anger. Li Weiwei, what the hell are you doing? This is my divorce lawyer, whom I commissioned. Watch your mouth. Lawyer? Li Weiwei sneered. Who are you kidding? Meeting a lawyer to discuss matters not at a law firm, but running off to a place like this. I reckon your next discussion will be in bed, won't it? She became more agitated as she spoke, crying and cursing. I knew something was up when you suddenly wanted to break off the engagement. It turns out you have someone else. You shameless woman. Tang Lin stood up. Her expression was calm, with a hint of a professional smile on her face. Ms. Li, please watch your words. Watch your mother. Li Weiwei completely lost control. Lin Dong, are you even a man? Why are you taking out our issues on my brother and my father? You say my relationship with Zhang Zihao isn't normal, but what about you? You and this cheap woman are here drinking coffee and flirting late at night. What kind of good people are you? People around us were already raising their phones to record. I took a deep breath, about to lash out. Tang Lin reached out and stopped me. She's trying to make a scene. Let me handle it. She looked at Li Weiwei calmly, her voice soft but every word crystal clear. Firstly, I am Mr. Lin Dong's divorce attorney. Here are my business card and the retainer agreement we just signed as proof. Secondly, you have publicly insulted and defamed me in a public place. I will pursue legal action against you. Finally, since you brought your private matters into the public eye, let me ask you this. Her gaze was cold and piercing, as if seeing right through Li Weiwei. As a bride who is supposed to be getting married tomorrow, you ran off to a singles party with your male best friend that night, even drinking cross-cupped wine. What gives you the right to stand on moral high ground and accuse others? If there's a third party involved, it can only be a male one. The coffee shop went completely silent. Everyone's gaze, previously sympathetic, turned to surprise and contempt as they looked at Li Weiwei. Li Weiwei froze. Her lips trembled. She wanted to say something, but not a single word came out. Suddenly, she squatted on the ground, covering her face and wailing uncontrollably. I didn't. He and I are truly just sworn siblings. Lin Dong, I was wrong. Please forgive me just this once, okay? Can we not get a divorce? Tang Lin sneered. Sworn siblings? Aside from blood relations, any behavior that crosses the normal boundaries between a man and a woman constitutes an ambiguous relationship, especially when you have a husband and you chose such a special day, the eve of your wedding, to drink cross-cupped wine with another man. This kind of behavior is a blatant insult to your partner. It's also a betrayal of the marriage. I stood there, silently watching Li Weiwei. Her makeup was completely smudged from crying. She was a completely different person from the woman in the wedding poster, who, in her pristine white wedding dress, had smiled with a radiant glow. But now my heart was completely still. Let's go, I said to Tang Lin. I picked up the contract from the table, and Tang Lin and I left together. Li Weiwei cried out my name from behind. I didn't turn around. For the next few days, Li Weiwei acted like she'd gone mad. On the first night, she ran to my doorstep and pounded on the door for 10 minutes. Through the peephole, she was wearing the cashmere coat I'd bought her hair disheveled, and her eyes swollen like walnuts. Lin Dong, open the door. Let's talk. I remained silent. Leaning against the wall in the entryway, I waited for her to make a scene. 20 minutes later, she left. She came again the next day. This time, she brought Motherly. Motherly outside the door cried and cursed, from calling me ungrateful to may you die a terrible death. Neighbors opened their doors and glanced out, then quickly retreated. I put on my headphones and turned the volume to maximum. On the third day, she didn't come home, but went straight to the company. The young receptionist called my internal line, saying Li Weiwei wanted to see me. Tell her I'm not here. Mr. Lin, I told her, but she insists on forcing her way in. Before she could finish speaking, a commotion could be heard on the phone. When I came out, Li Weiwei had already been stopped by security at the front desk. Seeing me, her eyes immediately lit up. Lin Dong, please listen to me. Li Weiwei. I stood 3 steps away, my tone flat. If you don't leave now, I'm calling the police. Her expression changed from expectation to despair. Are you really so heartless? I didn't answer and turned to go back into the elevator. Behind me were her cries and the security guard's attempts to calm her. The elevator doors closed and everything went silent. The day of the hearing quickly arrived. At the courthouse entrance, I saw Tang Lin. She was wearing a black lawyer's robe, her hair neatly styled, exuding an air of competence and professionalism. We walked into the courtroom side by side. Li Weiwei's family had already arrived. Li's mother sat in the spectators' gallery, glaring at me the moment she saw me. Li's father had a grim expression, not saying a word. Li Hao sat in the back row, head down, playing on his phone, looking completely detached. Li Weiwei sat in the defendant's box. She hadn't hired a lawyer. When she saw Tang Lin and me walk in, her lips trembled slightly, and her eyes immediately welled up. The judge took his seat. The gavel struck. The trial began. Tang Lin first stated my litigation requests: a divorce decree, repayment of the betrothal gift of 388,000 yuan, repayment for the value of gold articles totaling 117,500 yuan, repayment of transfers made during our relationship totaling 180,000 yuan, and repayment of advance payments totaling 185,000 yuan. No sooner had she finished speaking than Li Guixiang exploded. Nonsense! She immediately stood up from the spectators' gallery, her voice so loud it shook the entire courtroom. Your Honor, this man is a scammer who tricked her into marriage and sex. He's a con artist. The judge tapped the gavel. Spectators, please be quiet. Li's mother was persuaded by the bailiff to sit down, but she continued to grumble under her breath. It was Li Weiwei's turn to respond. She stood up, tears instantly streaming down her face. Your Honor, I don't want a divorce. I love Lin Dong. I sometimes had a few drinks with others, and he used that as an excuse to cancel the wedding and insist on a divorce. He began this relationship and then heartlessly abandoned me, shirking his responsibilities. He definitely has someone else on the side. It's that lawyer. She spoke through ragged sobs, gasping for breath. Li's father also stood up, his voice terrifyingly loud. Judge, this Lin Dong is a marriage swindler. He deceived my daughter's purity, made fools of our entire family, and then found an excuse to break off the engagement. He's a scoundrel who toys with people's feelings. The courtroom erupted in chaos. The judge struck the gavel again. Defendant and their family, please control your emotions and speak to the facts. Tang Lin stood up. Without rushing, she calmly took a stack of documents from her briefcase. Your Honor, my side presents the first set of evidence to the court. She held up a bank transfer record. During the period when plaintiff Lin Dong and defendant Li Weiwei were dating, the plaintiff invested 400,000 yuan to rent and decorate a storefront for the defendant in the wedding apartment complex, establishing a beauty salon. These are the transfer vouchers and the lease contract. Next, she took out another document. The second set of evidence. The plaintiff invested 150,000 yuan to open a convenience store for the defendant's father, Li Daqiang, and also advanced 10 months' rent totaling 35,000 yuan. These are the payment records and the business license. The third set of evidence. The employment certificate of the defendant's younger brother, Li Hao. Tang Lin laid out the documents one by one, clearly and systematically. Li Hao worked as a sales assistant at the plaintiff's company, with a monthly salary of 6,000 yuan, but his actual work performance. She clicked open a video. It was surveillance footage of Li Hao playing games and browsing short videos during working hours. The courtroom was silent for a few seconds. Li Hao's face instantly went pale, and he quickly shoved his phone into his pocket. Li's mother's expression was also very unpleasant, but she still tried to bluff her way through it. So what? Lin Dong did all of this voluntarily. Tang Lin ignored her and continued to present evidence. The fourth set of evidence: transfer records requested by the defendant from the plaintiff during their relationship, citing reasons such as urgent family financial needs, her brother buying a phone, or buying a car. Totaling 180,000 yuan. She displayed the transfer screenshots one by one. Each transaction had a note: online loan repayment, brother's car purchase, urgent family use, and so on. Tang Lin looked at the judge, her tone calm and powerful. The above evidence is sufficient to prove that during the period when the plaintiff Lin Dong and the defendant Li Weiwei were in a relationship, he genuinely committed himself and invested with the intention of marriage. There was no so-called marriage fraud. Next, I will present the fifth set of evidence to the court. Tang Lin took a USB drive from the document bag. These are photos and videos of the defendant Li Weiwei and a third party, Zhang Zihao, frequently entering and exiting entertainment venues, either alone or together, during the period when the plaintiff and defendant were in a relationship. On the big screen, photos were projected one by one. In the KTV, the two sang together. In the bar, the two clinked glasses. In that 9-grid WeChat moments screenshot from the night before the wedding, the photo of them drinking with interlocked arms was particularly glaring. Li Weiwei's face turned completely pale. All these pieces of evidence originated from Li Weiwei's male best friend, who is also her sworn younger brother, Zhang Zihao's own WeChat moments, as well as the plaintiff's saved records. After Tang Lin finished speaking, she turned around, and her gaze swept across Li Weiwei's family. Based on all the above evidence, although the plaintiff and defendant have registered their marriage, they have not lived together. The defendant still held an inappropriate gathering with a person of the opposite sex on the day before the wedding, clearly demonstrating fault. According to relevant judicial interpretations of the Civil Code, the plaintiff's claims for divorce and the return of the bride price are supported by law. We request the court to support this in accordance with the law. The courtroom was extremely quiet. Li Weiwei opened her mouth, but couldn't utter a single word. Li's mother tried to stand up, but was held down by the court police. The judge asked if both parties were willing to mediate. I shook my head. Li Weiwei cried, saying she didn't want a divorce. But it was already too late. After a 15-minute recess, the judge reseated. The gavel struck. This court, upon review, holds that although the plaintiff Lin Dong and the defendant Li Weiwei have registered their marriage, they have not lived together, and their marital relationship exists in name only. The defendant, on the eve of the wedding, engaged in improper interactions with a friend of the opposite sex, leading to the breakdown of their marital affection. The plaintiff's claim for divorce is supported by law, and this court grants it. Regarding the bride price of 388,000 yuan, considering that the two had cohabited for 1 year before marriage, the defendant is ordered to return 70% of the bride price, which is 271,600 yuan, the gold jewelry, given with the intention of marriage, as well as the large transfers totaling 180,000 yuan during their relationship, and the 185,000 yuan advanced by the plaintiff for the defendant's father Li Daqiang to open a convenience store, including funds and rent, should all be returned, as the parties did not actually live together and the defendant was somewhat at fault. The defendant is ordered to fulfill this within 15 days after the judgment takes effect. The gavel fell. The dust settled. In the gallery, Mother Li seemed to have been drained of all strength, collapsing into her chair. Father Li's face was dark, glaring at me with resentment. Li Hao had long since disappeared. No one knew where. Li Weiwei stood in the defendant's stand, motionless. Tears silently streamed down her cheeks, washing her makeup into 2 gray streaks. I stood up and turned to walk towards the door. Suddenly, rapid high-heeled footsteps sounded behind me. Lin Dong. Li Weiwei caught up to me. She grabbed my sleeve, her voice trembling violently. Lin Dong, could you please give me one more chance? I know I was wrong. I truly do. I gently shook off her hand. Li Weiwei, the judgment has already been handed down. Between us, it's over. I strode out of the courtroom. Tang Lin was already standing at the door waiting for me. The sunlight hit her, making her black lawyer's robe gleam. Let's go together, she said. A month later, Li Weiwei transferred the 271,600 yuan in betrothal money back to my card. The 5 gold ornaments were also returned along with it. Regarding the 180,000 yuan loan and the 185,000 yuan I had advanced, both parties agreed to repay it in installments. For this, Li Hao sold his car, and Mother Li scrambled to borrow money from various sources. The last payment arrived 3 years later. A transfer notification popped up on my phone. The note read, "Completely settled." I smiled and continued to type my code. Shortly after the court's judgment, Li Weiwei and Zhang Zihao really did get together. After Zhang Zihao was fired from his company, he looked for several jobs, but all of them paid significantly less than before. They started arguing less than 3 months after getting together. Zhang Zihao complained that Li Weiwei spent money lavishly. Li Weiwei complained that Zhang Zihao was incompetent and couldn't earn money. Another month passed, and they broke up completely. Li Weiwei moved back to her parents' house, and the family of 4 squeezed into that old, dilapidated 2-bedroom apartment. To pay off debts, the convenience store had to be sold. Li's father went back to working as a mover. Li Hao couldn't find a decent job and started delivering food again. Everything returned to how it was 3 years ago. Meanwhile, my life was starting anew. Tang Lin and I actually had feelings for each other in high school, but due to academic pressure, we dared not express them. This time, when we met again, everything fell into place naturally. We ate together, watched movies together, and worked overtime until late at night. When she was handling lawsuits, I would attend as an observer. When I had meetings, she would wait for me to finish work. The words left unsaid in high school could now be spoken openly. She said, "If I had known, I would have just confessed directly, instead of going through such a big detour." I said, "If we hadn't taken this detour, how would you have become my divorce lawyer?" She laughed and playfully hit me. Days passed, mundane yet steady. A year later, I sold the old marital home. I kept no sentimental attachments. Tang Lin liked a spacious apartment overlooking the river, saying it had a good view, good lighting, and would be big enough if we had children later. After she finished speaking, I signed the contract. On moving day, we stood on the balcony. Before us was the wide river surface, and in the distance, continuous green mountains. The setting sun was descending from the mountain's edge, dyeing the entire river golden. The clouds on the horizon blazed a fiery orange-red, mirrored in the water. The wind blew, carrying the scent of the river. Tang Lin leaned against my shoulder and said softly, "Lin Dong, do you think we were meant to be?" We missed out in high school, but in the end, we still ended up together. I put my arm around her shoulder, gazing at the distant sunset. It wasn't destiny. She looked up at me. I smiled. It was I who made the right decision.
Everyone, that's all for today's story. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. If it's not to your liking, please be kind. Your support is the only motivation for me to keep creating original stories. Goodbye.